Mental strength is not something you are born with. It is built every time you face a challenge and choose to keep going. When your mind is strong, you control your emotions instead of letting them control you. This strength allows you to push through fear, doubt, and setbacks without giving up. Today we will discuss how to develop mental toughness that helps you stay focused and motivated no matter what stands in your way. You will learn how to build habits that protect your peace and keep your mind clear. This is about taking responsibility for your thoughts and actions so you can reach any goal you set. If you're ready to become mentally strong and achieve anything you set your mind to, then let's dive in. Number 1. Train your mind daily like you train your body. Most people don't realize it, but the biggest reason they're stuck, tired, unmotivated, or constantly overwhelmed is not their job, not their family, not even their circumstances. It's their mind. The truth is hard. Your life reflects the strength or weakness of your mind. You wake up each day hoping things will get better, hoping stress will go away, hoping confidence will magically appear. But it never does, not consistently, because hope without habits is just wishful thinking. You can't build a strong life on a weak mind. And yet, almost nobody takes the time to actually train the mind like they train the body. You'll find people running, lifting weights, taking supplements, but not spending a single deliberate moment strengthening how they think, what they believe, or how they respond. That's like putting armor on your body but leaving your mind wide open to attack. No wonder people break so easily under pressure. No wonder they quit so fast. No wonder they doubt themselves before anyone else ever gets a chance to. If you want to be mentally strong, truly strong, this isn't something you do once. It's daily. Just like brushing your teeth or eating right or going to the gym. If you miss it, your mind gets weak, tired, and lazy. Weak thoughts lead to weak actions. A lazy mind won't fight for anything. It'll settle. It'll avoid challenge. It'll find comfort even when you're slowly falling apart inside. But a trained mind, that's different. A trained mind doesn't panic when life gets loud. It doesn't crumble when people disappoint you. It doesn't give up at the first sign of resistance. Instead, it stands firm. Not because everything is easy, but because the foundation is solid. Start simple. Start now. Every morning before the world demands a single thing from you, sit with your thoughts. Don't scroll. Don't react. Don't chase noise. Just sit. Ask yourself, what kind of mindset do I want to lead with today? Set your intention like you'd lace your shoes before a run. That's how mental training begins. It's not complicated, but it is consistent. Read something that challenges your thinking. Listen to someone who pushes you to be better. Write down the thoughts you keep repeating in your head and replace the ones that tear you down with the ones that build you back up. That's daily work. That's real training. It's easy to forget that everything you achieve or fail to achieve starts with how you think. Your thoughts are the architects of your actions. If your thoughts are scattered, fearful, or filled with doubt, how do you expect to build anything meaningful? Mental strength isn't pretending everything is okay when it's not. It's standing up to your own excuses, your own lies, and saying, I will not let my old thinking decide my future anymore. That's the battle people don't see. That's the private fight that creates public results. Everyone wants the result, but few are willing to go through the repetition. Think about how a bodybuilder gets strong. Not once, not twice, not by lifting light weights whenever it's convenient. They show up every day, even when they're tired, even when they don't feel like it, because they know consistency is what creates change. Your mind is no different. If you don't stretch it, if you don't challenge it, if you don't push past what's comfortable, it will stay exactly where it is. And in today's world, an untrained mind gets swallowed up fast. There's too much distraction, too much negativity, too much fear being pushed into your ears. Without mental strength, you won't survive that storm. You'll drown in it. Some people say, "But Jim, I'm just not motivated." And I tell them, Motivation is the result of action, not the cause of it. You don't wait to feel strong before you act strong. You train, you act, and strength follows. The people who build strong minds are the ones who refuse to stay the same. They don't settle for, "This is just how I am." They say, "This is where I am today, but it's not where I'm staying." That's power. That's responsibility. That's ownership of your life. And here's what you'll find. The more you train your mind, the more you start to feel like yourself again. Not the worn-out, stressed-out version of you. The real you. The version of you that believes in something, that keeps promises to yourself, that doesn't quit halfway through. You'll start noticing you react differently to problems. You don't explode as easily. You don't spiral down as quickly. You don't chase validation from people who never respected you in the first place. That's what mental strength gives you. It gives you back your self-respect. Train your mind to focus on what matters. Not every opinion, not every distraction, not every worry that floats into your head. Most of those are junk thoughts. Just like junk food, they feel satisfying for a moment but leave you worse than before. Filter what goes into your mind. Don't let fear be the loudest voice. Don't give doubts a permanent seat at your table. Start building thoughts that serve you. Thoughts that help you push forward, even when life doesn't seem fair. If you can commit to physical training, you can commit to mental training. Make it part of your life. Wake up and feed your mind like you feed your body. Don't leave your mindset to chance. And don't expect mental strength without effort. It doesn't just show up because you want it. It shows up because you've earned it. You show up every day, even when it's hard, especially when it's hard. You look at yourself honestly, not critically, and say, "This is where I'm weak. This is where I'll grow." You don't avoid the tough parts. You walk straight into them and come out stronger. Mental strength is not about being perfect. It's not about never having a bad day or a negative thought. It's about not letting those moments run your life. It's about recognizing them, resetting and rising anyway. That's what daily mental training gives you. The tools to rise again and again, no matter how many times you've been knocked down. Because at the end of the day, if you don't train your mind, the world will do it for you. And the world doesn't care about your peace, your dreams, or your growth. But you do, or you should. You owe it to yourself to build a mind strong enough to carry the weight of your goals, strong enough to handle setbacks, strong enough to keep going when everyone else stops. That's not a one-time thing. That's daily work, and you are worth that work. Every single day. Number 2, control your reactions instead of situations controlling you. Life is unfair. People will hurt you. Plans will fall apart. Things you never expected to happen will happen, and most of the time, you won't get a warning. That's real life. You can't predict every storm. You can't avoid every tough moment. But what you can do is decide how you respond when things go wrong. Most people don't realize that their reactions are slowly destroying their peace. They don't think about it. They just react. Someone disrespects them, they explode. A small setback happens, they give up. Something doesn't go their way, and they spend days complaining, blaming, or feeling sorry for themselves. They let the outside world dictate their inner world, and before they know it, every little problem controls their mood, their energy, and even their decisions. If you want to live a strong life, you can't afford to let every little thing throw you off. It's not about pretending like nothing bothers you. It's about building a mind that knows how to pause, process, and respond with clarity instead of chaos. That's what separates someone who keeps moving forward from someone who stays stuck in frustration. When you learn to control your reactions, you protect your energy. And when you protect your energy, you gain power over your direction. It's easy to get caught in emotional reactions because they feel automatic. Anger, frustration, fear, those emotions don't knock first. They barge in. But here's the truth. Just because an emotion shows up doesn't mean you need to obey it. Emotions are signals, not commands. When you start pausing before reacting, you take control back. You ask yourself, what's really happening here? And what choice will make me stronger, not weaker? That space between emotion and action, that's where your growth lives. That space is where you either give your power away or keep it. The people who thrive under pressure, the ones who rise when it's hard, they're not lucky, they're practiced. They've trained themselves to stay calm when others panic. They've trained themselves to think clearly when others just react. And that training doesn't happen overnight. It comes from messing up, owning your behavior, and doing the work to respond better next time. Most people don't want to hear that. They want to stay reactive and still get good results. But that's not how it works. You can't live a peaceful life with an untrained mind. Think about how many arguments, regrets, and lost opportunities come from one poor reaction, one moment of saying something out of anger, one moment of shutting down when you should have stepped up, one moment of letting pride speak louder than purpose. Every reaction has a consequence. You either grow from it or shrink from it. That's why this matters. If you want to lead your life, you must first lead your mind. And leading your mind starts with owning your reactions. It takes strength to stay calm when you're misunderstood. It takes discipline to walk away from drama instead of diving into it. It takes courage to respond with patience when all you feel is pressure. And it takes wisdom to choose silence when your ego is begging you to shout. But that strength, that discipline, that wisdom, they don't appear by accident. They're built moment by moment, decision by decision. One of the biggest lies people believe is that they don't have control. They say, I can't help how I feel, or I just lost it. But that's not truth. That's habit. You've repeated the same emotional reaction so many times they feel like the only option. But once you realize that you are not your first reaction, that you can pause, reflect, and choose differently, you unlock real freedom. That's the moment you stop being a slave to your circumstances and start being the leader of your own experience. This isn't about being emotionless. This is about emotional strength. It's about feeling anger but not letting it speak for you. It's about feeling fear but not letting it decide for you. It's about noticing your frustration without feeding it. And that's a skill. You build it by practicing it. You build it by catching yourself in those everyday moments when you want to snap, complain, or withdraw, and instead choosing something that builds character, not chaos. The truth is, reacting quickly might feel satisfying in the moment, but it often leaves damage in its wake. And you know that. You've lived it. You've seen what happens when you lose control and have to go back later to fix the damage or worse, live with it. That's why emotional control is not weakness. It's power, because when you stay in control, you stay aligned with your values, your purpose, and your goals. Start with small things. The traffic, the rude comment, the delay in your plans. These moments are not interruptions to your peace. They are invitations to practice it. Every time you choose a stronger reaction, you strengthen your mind. Every time you refuse to let someone else's behavior decide your attitude, you build resilience. That's how real strength is built. Not just in big dramatic moments, but in the quiet decisions that nobody sees. And here's something most people forget. When you react emotionally to everything, you become predictable and easy to manipulate. People know exactly which buttons to push. But when you're calm, focused, and unshakable, they don't know how to control you because you're no longer reacting to their noise. You've built your own filter. You decide what matters. You decide what deserves your attention. That's not just maturity. That's mental freedom. You can't live your best life while constantly giving your power to things outside of you. It doesn't work. If your peace depends on people treating you right, you'll never be at peace. If your attitude depends on things going your way, you'll never have a consistent mindset. That's why control has to come from within. Not from pretending things are fine, not from bottling up your feelings, but from developing the strength to respond with wisdom when emotions are high. Look around at the people who inspire you, not because they shout the loudest, but because they stay grounded when others lose control. That's who you want to become. Not reactive, not impulsive, but steady, centered, committed to growth, not ego. And to get there, you must challenge your default patterns. You must interrupt your own emotional habits and decide to create new ones that serve your future. At the end of the day, your reactions shape your reality, not your goals, not your intentions, but how you handle the moments in between. You can have the best plans in the world, but if you fall apart emotionally every time something doesn't go your way, those plans won't matter. What matters is how you respond when tested. That's what people remember. That's what builds your future. That's what defines the difference between someone who survives and someone who thrives. Build the ability to stay calm in the storm. Train yourself to be slow to anger, quick to listen, and clear in thought. That's strength. That's growth. That's how you take back control from the noise, from the world, from your past patterns, and lead your life with strength, not struggle. Number 3. Set clear goals and commit without excuses. Most people drift through life with vague hopes, but no real direction. They say things like, "I want to be successful," or "I want to be happy," but they can't define what that actually means for them. They don't set clear goals because deep down they're afraid. Afraid they won't follow through. Afraid of failing. Afraid they'll have to finally take responsibility for where they are. So instead of facing that discomfort, they stay in a loop, busy, distracted, constantly reacting, but never truly building. And then they wonder why every year looks the same, why their confidence is low, why they feel stuck even when they're working hard. You can't move forward with vague ideas. Your mind needs targets. Clear goals give you direction. They give your energy a place to go. Without that, you'll spend your days reacting to whatever comes your way. You'll keep trying to fix symptoms without ever facing the root problem. That's what most people do. They complain about their circumstances, but they've never sat down and said, "Here's exactly what I want to create in the next 6 months." They wait for clarity to come by accident, not realizing that clarity is a decision you make, not a feeling you wait for. A clear goal isn't just a dream. It's a decision backed by action. It's not, "I want to get in shape someday." It's, "I'm going to lose 15 pounds in the next 90 days, and here's my plan." It's not, "I want to start my business eventually." It's, "I will launch my online store by August 1st with these 3 steps completed each week. See the difference? One keeps you in wishful thinking. The other activates your focus. Your brain starts scanning for what matters, and you stop wasting time on distractions that don't move you closer. But it doesn't stop with just setting goals. You have to commit to them without excuses. And this is where most people fall off. They say they're committed, but the moment things get hard, they adjust the goal instead of adjusting their effort. Commitment means doing what you said you would do long after the mood you said it in is gone. It means showing up when it's boring, when it's slow, when nobody's clapping, when everything in you wants to delay, avoid, or give up. You will not feel motivated every day. That's a fact. But your results aren't waiting on your motivation. They're waiting on your discipline. And discipline is built when you stop making room for excuses. Every excuse sounds valid when you're tired or discouraged. But if you keep giving in to those moments, you train yourself to break your own word. You lose trust in yourself. And that's the real damage. Not just the missed opportunity, but the erosion of belief. You start telling yourself, maybe I'm just not consistent, maybe I don't follow through. But that's not the truth. The truth is, you haven't practiced commitment long enough to let it reshape your identity. It's not about perfection. It's about deciding that quitting is no longer an option you entertain. If you stumble, you get back up with urgency. If something takes longer than expected, you adjust your approach, not your commitment. That's the mindset that gets things done. That's the mindset that turns goals into results. Now, you can't commit to everything. That's another trap. If everything's important, nothing is. You have to decide what actually matters in this season of your life. What goal, if achieved, would move everything else forward? Pick one or two things and go all in. Say no to everything else for now. That focus doesn't limit you, it frees you. It clears your path. It gives you momentum because instead of spreading yourself thin, you're pouring your energy into what counts. Write your goals down, not just in your mind. Get them on paper. Be specific. Add dates. Add numbers. Add structure. That's how you make the invisible visible. That's how you turn a good intention into a real plan. Then, every day, look at those goals. Remind yourself of why they matter. Not just the surface reason, but the deep reason. What pain are you done tolerating? What future are you ready to build? Connect to that daily. Because when you forget why you started, it's easy to stop. You also need to track your progress. What you don't measure, you can't improve. Too many people work hard, but never check if they're actually moving. They mistake motion for progress. But progress is what builds belief. When you see proof that you're getting closer, your confidence grows. And when you're off track, don't avoid it, face it. Adjust. Learn. Push again. That's how winners think. They don't panic when things go sideways. They adapt, but they don't give up. You have to protect your goals from distractions too. That means boundaries. That means having the courage to say no to things that might be good, but aren't your priority right now. People will misunderstand you. They'll pressure you to be more available. But your goals require your focus, not your apologies. You're not selfish for protecting your future. You're responsible. And don't wait for perfect timing. That's a trap. Conditions will never be perfect. Life will always be messy. Start now with what you have, where you are. Use what you know. Figure out the rest along the way. Every delay adds distance between you and your goal. And most of the time, the first step isn't even the hardest part, it's the decision to stop waiting. You don't need to feel ready. You need to feel done with where you are. Done settling. Done starting over. Done wondering what your life would look like if you had just stuck with it. The regret of giving up too soon is far heavier than the discomfort of staying consistent. People often ask, what if I fail? But the better question is, what if you succeed? What if you really followed through this time? What if this was the season you stopped breaking promises to yourself? What if you finally gave yourself a chance to see what's possible when you go all in? That version of you is already there, waiting on the other side of consistent commitment. Set goals that mean something to you. Goals that wake you up, not because they're easy, but because they remind you of who you could become. Then commit like your future depends on it, because it does. No excuses, no delays, no more halfway effort. You don't need perfect conditions. You need a decision backed by action. You need a reason strong enough to keep showing up when everything else says stop. And when the doubts come, and they will, you remind yourself, you don't need permission to grow. You don't need everyone to believe in you. You just need to stay faithful to the path you've chosen. Keep showing up. Keep learning. Keep building. That's how goals get achieved. Not by wishing. Not by waiting, but by committing with everything you've got and not letting go. Number 4, accept discomfort as part of real growth. Most people want to grow, but almost no one wants to feel uncomfortable. They want progress without pain. They want change without challenge. But that's not how life works. Growth never happens in comfort zones. If you're waiting for life to feel easy before you push forward, you're waiting for a lifetime. Real growth feels hard because it demands you face things you don't like: uncertainty, rejection, struggle, even failure. These feelings are not obstacles. They are signs you're moving in the right direction. The problem is, most people run away from discomfort, so they stay stuck in the same place, repeating the same patterns, wondering why their life never changes. The moment you decide to become mentally strong, you have to decide that discomfort is not your enemy. It is your ally. It's the signpost that shows you where growth is happening. When your muscles ache after a workout, you know they're getting stronger. The same applies to your mind. When you feel stretched, overwhelmed, or uneasy, it means your brain is rewiring itself. It means you're building new habits, forming new beliefs, or stepping into new roles. That tension is the signal that something important is being forged inside you. What most people fail to realize is that avoiding discomfort comes at a huge cost. It costs you opportunity. It costs you confidence. It costs you character. If you never push through fear, you never prove to yourself that you are capable. If you never endure tough times, you never develop the strength needed to handle bigger challenges. Life doesn't get easier, you get stronger. But to get stronger, you must stop asking, "Why is this so hard?" and start asking, "What is this teaching me?" This acceptance isn't about liking pain. Nobody enjoys it. It's about choosing purpose over ease. It's about knowing that short-term discomfort leads to long-term gain. Every successful person has been there. They've felt the weight of doubt, the sting of failure, and the ache of sacrifice. But they refused to let those feelings stop them. They understood that discomfort was temporary, but regret could last forever. That perspective changes everything. When you embrace discomfort, you stop running from problems and start solving them. Discomfort also teaches patience. Growth is not instant. It requires time, effort, and resilience. When you accept that discomfort is part of the process, you stop expecting overnight success. You stop quitting because the first step is difficult. Instead, you settle into the journey, understanding that each uncomfortable moment is a building block. You become comfortable with being uncomfortable, and that's where real transformation happens. Your mind will resist this. It will tell you to quit, to avoid, to seek the easier path. That resistance is natural. It's the mind protecting you from pain. But your mind is not always your friend when it comes to growth. It takes courage to say no to comfort and yes to progress. That courage builds over time. It starts with small decisions, choosing to face a difficult conversation, starting a new habit that feels awkward, or pushing through a tough day without giving up. You need to reframe your thoughts about discomfort. Instead of seeing it as a sign that something is wrong, see it as evidence that you're doing something right. Every time you feel uneasy or challenged, remind yourself that you are on the path of becoming stronger, wiser, and more capable. Those moments are shaping your future. They are proof that you're not settling for less. It also helps to be honest with yourself about why discomfort feels so threatening. Often, it's because discomfort exposes our fears: fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of the unknown. These fears are normal, but they don't have to control you. Acknowledge them, but don't let them decide your actions. When you recognize that fear and discomfort are natural parts of growth, you can move through them with more confidence. Building mental strength through discomfort also means you stop needing constant validation or comfort from others. When things get tough, you don't expect someone to rescue you or make the pain go away. You learn to rely on your own inner resources. You become your own source of encouragement and resilience. That independence is freeing. It means you don't have to wait for perfect conditions to act. You learn to work with what you have, even when it's uncomfortable. Physical discomfort is easier to understand than mental discomfort. Everyone knows that exercise is hard but necessary for health. Mental discomfort is less obvious but just as crucial. Facing hard conversations, pushing through boredom, accepting criticism, or sticking with a task when motivation fades, these are mental workouts. They might not leave a visible mark, but they build the kind of strength that can't be taken away. Expect setbacks. Expect moments when discomfort feels unbearable. That's part of the journey. But those moments don't define you unless you let them. How you respond to discomfort is what builds your character. You can let it break you, or you can let it build you. The choice is yours. It takes a strong mind to see discomfort as a stepping stone instead of a roadblock. A powerful way to handle discomfort is to prepare for it. Anticipate the challenges you will face on the way to your goals. Imagine how you will feel and what you will do when things get tough. That preparation doesn't remove the pain, but it reduces its power over you. When discomfort arrives, you're ready. You face it with purpose, not panic. Remember, no one achieves anything meaningful without discomfort. The most successful people don't have a secret to avoiding struggle. They have a secret to enduring it. They accept the reality that growth is uncomfortable and commit to the process anyway. Their mindset is different. They see discomfort as a necessary part of becoming who they want to be. This mindset allows them to persevere when others quit. Discomfort also builds humility. When you accept that growth is hard, you stop expecting life to hand you everything easily. You become more patient with yourself and others. You understand that everyone is fighting their own battles and that success requires consistent effort, not just luck or talent. That humility makes your strength more grounded and your success more sustainable. You can't control every circumstance, but you can control how you deal with discomfort. You can decide to face it head-on or avoid it and remain stuck. Growth demands a choice. That choice is daily. Every time you push through a moment that feels tough, you're telling yourself and the world that you are committed to your own development. That message grows louder with each uncomfortable step you take. Don't waste energy wishing things were easier. Instead, invest your energy in building the mental toughness to handle whatever comes. That's how you become unstoppable. That's how you build confidence that no failure or setback can shake. That's how you create a life where your dreams are not limited by fear of discomfort. Every time discomfort shows up, welcome it like an old teacher. Listen to what it has to say. Learn from it. Then move forward with more strength than before. That is how growth happens. Not by avoiding pain, but by walking through it with courage and persistence. That's what makes you mentally strong and ready to achieve anything you set your mind to. Number 5. Replace negative thoughts with empowering beliefs. Life will bring challenges, mistakes, and moments where everything feels against you. Most people don't struggle because the challenges are too big. They struggle because their mind tells them stories that make those challenges seem impossible to overcome. Those negative thoughts sound real and convincing, but they are not facts. They are interpretations that trap you in fear, doubt, and defeat. The truth is, your thoughts shape your reality more than the events themselves. If your mind is filled with doubt, worry, and negativity, your actions will follow, and your results will suffer. If you want to be mentally strong, you have to change the way you think. You have to replace those negative thoughts with beliefs that empower you to act, grow, and persist. Negative thinking is a habit, just like any other habit. It's been practiced over years, sometimes even decades, and it's automatic now. You don't even notice it most of the time. The moment something difficult happens, your mind jumps to worst-case scenarios. You tell yourself, I'm not good enough, this is too hard, I'm going to fail. These thoughts flood your brain like a storm, and you feel stuck before you even try. What's worse, negative thoughts affect your body too. You feel tension in your chest, your energy drops, your focus disappears. It's a cycle that keeps you trapped and small. But here's the good news. Negative thoughts are not facts. They are just thoughts, and you have the power to change them. It starts with awareness. You have to listen to your inner voice and notice when it turns negative. This takes practice because those thoughts come quickly and often unconsciously. When you catch a negative thought, don't push it away or judge yourself for having it. Instead, ask yourself, is this thought really true? What evidence do I have for it? Is there another way to see this situation? That simple questioning creates space in your mind. It stops the automatic negative reaction and opens the door for a new, more empowering belief. Replacing negative thoughts isn't about pretending everything is perfect or lying to yourself. It's about finding the truth that strengthens you. For example, if you think, I always mess things up, the empowering belief is, I am learning and every mistake teaches me how to do better next time. If you say, I'm not capable of doing this, replace it with, I may not know everything yet, but I can learn and improve. These new beliefs might not feel natural at first. That's okay. The mind resists change. But the more you repeat them, the more your brain rewires itself to believe them as real. When you build empowering beliefs, your emotions shift too. Instead of feeling fear and doubt, you start feeling hope and confidence. Instead of shrinking back from challenges, you begin to face them with curiosity and courage. Your energy lifts, your focus sharpens, and your motivation grows. Your actions align with your new mindset. You take risks, push harder, and keep going when others quit. That's the power of replacing negative thoughts with empowering beliefs. Another important point is to be selective about what you feed your mind. Your thoughts don't come from nowhere. They come from your environment, the people you spend time with, the media you consume, and the stories you tell yourself daily. If you fill your mind with negative news, toxic conversations, or self-doubting talk, your mental strength will weaken. Protect your mind by choosing what you allow in. Surround yourself with positive influences that inspire and uplift you. Read books, listen to podcasts, and have conversations that challenge your limiting beliefs and encourage growth. Journaling can be a powerful tool for changing your thought patterns. When you write down your negative thoughts, you bring them out of your mind and see them clearly. This helps you analyze and challenge them. Then write the opposite empowering belief next to them. Over time, this habit rewires your brain. You start recognizing negative thoughts before they take hold and replace them immediately. This simple practice rewires your mind to default to strength rather than weakness. You also have to be patient with yourself. Changing how you think isn't an overnight fix. You might fall back into old negative patterns many times. That's normal. When you notice that happening, don't get discouraged or beat yourself up. Simply catch the thought again and replace it. Persistence is key. The more consistent you are, the more permanent the change becomes. Sometimes negative beliefs are deeply rooted in past experiences or painful memories. In those cases, it can help to talk to someone, a coach, therapist, or trusted friend, who can guide you through healing those old wounds and replacing the limiting stories attached to them. Mental strength is not about pretending pain doesn't exist. It's about learning how to process it and refuse to let it define your future. Another powerful way to strengthen empowering beliefs is through visualization. Spend time imagining yourself acting with confidence, solving problems, and succeeding despite challenges. Picture the details. How it feels in your body, what you see around you, the sounds and smells. This mental rehearsal trains your brain to believe success is possible, making you more likely to act courageously in real life. Empowering beliefs also grow stronger when you take small wins seriously. Every time you overcome a challenge or stick to your plan despite discomfort, you prove to yourself that the new belief is true. Celebrate these moments. Write them down. Use them as evidence to silence the old negative thoughts. Your mind learns from experience more than anything else. Replace negative thoughts with empowering beliefs, and your entire outlook on life changes. You don't wait for circumstances to improve before you feel good. You find strength inside no matter what happens. You stop being a victim of your own mind and start being the leader of it. This shift gives you mental strength that no external situation can shake. Think of your mind as a garden. If you plant weeds negative thoughts, you get a garden full of struggle and doubt. If you plant seeds of empowering beliefs, you grow a garden of strength and confidence. You have the power to decide what you nurture. Choose wisely. Tend to your thoughts every day. Pull out the weeds before they take root. Water the empowering beliefs with consistent attention. This is not about magic or instant transformation. It's about a deliberate daily choice to care for your mind like the most valuable asset you have, because it is. Your mental strength depends on it. Your ability to achieve anything you set your mind to depends on it. The stories you tell yourself are either your greatest limitation or your greatest fuel. Choose the stories that push you forward, build your confidence, and keep you moving no matter what. You will face hard days. You will hear the old negative voice try to creep back in. When that happens, catch it. Question it. Replace it. Repeat this process so often that your mind naturally leans towards strength and possibility. That's how you become mentally strong. That's how you achieve anything you set your mind to. Number 6. Build routines that strengthen mental discipline daily. Every day, most people wake up and move through life without a plan for their mind. They let distractions pull them this way and that, their focus scattered, their willpower drained by the smallest things. Mental strength doesn't grow by chance. It grows by design, through the small choices you make repeatedly. The way you show up for yourself every single day builds or breaks your mental discipline. This discipline is what keeps you on track when motivation fades, when distractions call louder, when excuses try to win. If your mind is a muscle, routines are the exercise that make it stronger. Without them, your mind remains weak, easily swayed, and worn out. The first reality most people face is that mental discipline is not something you suddenly have one day. It is something you build inch by inch, day after day. Many expect bursts of motivation or willpower to carry them through, but that rarely happens. Motivation is unreliable, it comes and goes. Discipline is reliable because it is built on habits. Think of discipline as a path you create with every step you take consistently. No giant leaps are needed. Just one step, then another, and another. This steady approach is what leads to lasting mental strength. Building routines for mental discipline means making your mind work for you, not against you. It means setting up a structure so you don't have to fight yourself all day long. When the chaos of life threatens to distract or overwhelm you, routines anchor your mind and keep your focus sharp. They help you avoid wasting energy on unnecessary decisions. The fewer decisions you have to make about how you show up, the more energy you save for the important challenges ahead. This energy becomes your mental power. To start, pick a few simple but powerful routines that target your mind directly. Begin with your morning. How you start your day sets the tone for the rest of it. Instead of waking up and scrolling through your phone or rushing into work stressed, build a morning routine that prepares your mind for success. This could be as simple as sitting quietly for 5 minutes, breathing deeply, or reviewing your goals for the day. When you do this consistently, you tell your brain, "Today is a new opportunity. I am in control." This small habit builds confidence and focus. Another critical routine is setting a daily time for focused work on your most important task. Distractions are the enemy of mental discipline. The mind easily drifts towards social media, emails, and other interruptions. By blocking out a specific time to work without distractions, you train your brain to concentrate deeply. It's like strengthening a muscle through resistance. Each time you resist the urge to check your phone or jump to another task, your discipline grows. This routine also creates a sense of accomplishment, reinforcing the habit. Physical activity is another essential routine that fuels mental strength. The body and mind are connected. When you move your body regularly, your brain releases chemicals that boost mood, clarity, and energy. Exercise also teaches discipline because it requires showing up even when you don't feel like it. Whether it's a walk, stretching, or a workout, building movement into your daily routine is a powerful way to strengthen mental resilience. Journaling or reflecting at the end of the day is equally important. This routine helps you process your thoughts and emotions, reducing mental clutter. Writing down what went well, what challenged you, and what you will improve tomorrow keeps your mind clear and focused on growth. Reflection helps you see progress and learn from mistakes, which is essential for discipline. Routines that build mental discipline don't have to be perfect or overwhelming. The key is consistency and simplicity. Many people fail because they try to overhaul their entire life at once, and then they get discouraged and quit. Instead, choose 1 or 2 routines that feel manageable. Commit to them daily until they become automatic. Once these are solid, add more routines that support your mental strength. The environment you create around your routines plays a huge role. If your workspace is cluttered, noisy, or full of distractions, your routines will struggle to take hold. Clean your space, organize your tools, and remove anything that pulls your attention away. When your environment supports your habits, your mind follows more easily. This setup removes unnecessary friction and allows your discipline to flourish. Accountability is another powerful tool to build and maintain routines. Share your goals and routines with someone who supports you and will check in regularly. Knowing that someone else is aware of your commitments makes you more likely to follow through. It's not about pressure, but about creating a support system that helps you stay consistent even when your own motivation dips. Mental discipline also requires protecting your energy by setting boundaries. This means saying no to things that drain you mentally or distract you from your routines. It could be limiting time spent on social media, avoiding negative people, or not overcommitting to tasks. Boundaries create space for your routines to grow and for your mental strength to increase. Routines work best when they align with your purpose and values. If your daily habits feel meaningless or disconnected from what matters most to you, they won't last. Reflect on what you truly want to achieve and why it matters. Connect your routines to that deeper reason. When you see your routines as steps towards something meaningful, you build emotional fuel that strengthens your discipline. It's natural to face resistance when starting new routines. Your mind likes comfort and familiarity, even if it means staying stuck. You will feel an inner battle between old habits and new routines. This is a sign that your mental strength is growing. Keep going through the discomfort. Each time you stick to your routine despite resistance, you are building muscle fibers of discipline that will carry you farther than you thought possible. There will be days when life disrupts your routines, illness, emergencies, fatigue. These moments test your mental discipline. The question is not whether you will face setbacks, but how you respond to them. True mental strength is shown when you return to your routines without guilt or excuses. Forgive yourself for breaks and start fresh immediately. Your routine is a commitment to yourself, not a punishment. The power of routines also lies in their compound effect. Just as saving a little money each day builds wealth over time, small daily habits create massive mental strength in the long run. You might not see huge changes immediately, but every day you practice discipline, your mind grows stronger. Years from now, the person you become will be the result of the routines you built today. When your mental discipline is strong, it influences every area of your life. You handle stress with calm. You make decisions clearly. You persist through challenges without burning out. You resist temptations that don't serve your goals. You focus on what matters and let go of distractions. Your mental routines create a foundation so solid that even when chaos hits, you remain steady and clear. Imagine your mind as a garden that needs daily watering. Routines are the watering can you carry every day. Neglect the garden and weeds and confusion take over. Tend to it daily and the garden flourishes. The choice is yours. Will you allow your mind to grow wild and weak, or will you build the structure and habits that create lasting strength? Number 7. Learn from failure instead of fearing it. Failure is one of the hardest things to face. It often brings pain, disappointment, and frustration. Most people want to avoid failure at all costs because it feels like a defeat, a sign that they're not good enough or that they'll never succeed. But that's where many get stuck, losing the chance to grow stronger mentally. The truth is, failure is not the enemy of success. Fear of failure is. When fear controls you, it stops you from trying, stops you from learning, and keeps you stuck in the same place. The people who achieve greatness aren't those who never fail. They are those who understand failure is a necessary step on the path forward. To become mentally strong, you must change how you see failure, learn from it, and use it as fuel instead of fear. When failure happens, the first natural reaction is to feel bad about yourself. You might think, "I'm not smart enough," or "I'm just unlucky." These thoughts only deepen the pain and make it harder to move forward. Instead, look at failure as a feedback system. It tells you what didn't work and gives you information about what needs to change. This mindset shifts the power from failure controlling you to you controlling failure. It's not about avoiding failure, but about extracting lessons from every experience, good or bad. Failure is often painful because it disrupts our expectations. You planned something, worked hard, and hoped for a specific result. When that result doesn't come, it feels like your effort was wasted. This is a tough reality to face, but the effort is never wasted if you use the experience to grow. Think about every failure as a step closer to success, because it reveals what needs to improve. Even if you don't see the progress immediately, the knowledge gained builds your mental strength quietly behind the scenes. Fear of failure causes many to avoid challenges altogether. Playing it safe feels more comfortable, but it also guarantees staying where you are. Growth only happens when you step outside your comfort zone and take risks, knowing failure is a real possibility. Those who succeed have accepted this risk and have prepared their minds to handle failure without losing courage. They learn how to manage the emotions that come with failure, disappointment, frustration, sadness, without letting those feelings define their future actions. Learning from failure means facing it honestly. It requires you to ask tough questions like, "What could I have done differently?" And "What did this experience teach me about myself or the situation?" These questions are uncomfortable but necessary for growth. When you answer them with honesty and openness, you begin to understand your strengths and weaknesses better. This awareness helps you make smarter decisions and build resilience to face future obstacles. Failure also tests your beliefs about yourself. If you believe you are capable and deserving, failure becomes a challenge to solve, not a final judgment. If you believe failure defines you, it becomes a source of shame and doubt. Building mental strength means strengthening your self-belief so failure doesn't shake your confidence completely. This doesn't mean ignoring failure or pretending it didn't hurt. It means recognizing failure as temporary and separate from your identity. You are not your failure. You are the person learning from it. A common mistake is to dwell on failure or replay negative thoughts endlessly. This drains mental energy and keeps you stuck in a loop of regret. Instead, acknowledge the failure, accept the feelings it brings, and then shift your focus to what you can do next. Taking action after failure is what separates winners from those who give up. Even small steps forward rebuild confidence and remind you that failure is not the end, but part of the journey. Failure often uncovers hidden strengths and abilities. When something doesn't go as planned, you are forced to adapt, problem solve, and find new ways to move forward. These moments stretch your mental muscles. They teach patience, creativity, and perseverance. Every failure is an opportunity to practice these skills, which are essential for mental strength. Without failure, you wouldn't develop these qualities because success often comes easily without testing your limits. It's important to remember that failure doesn't look the same for everyone. For some, failure might be losing a job or a business not working out. For others, it might be a personal relationship ending or a goal missed. Regardless of the form, the mental approach remains the same. How you respond to failure shapes your future more than the failure itself. When you embrace failure as a teacher, you reduce the fear around it, which frees you to try again with more confidence and wisdom. The stories of successful people often highlight their failures more than their wins, because that's where their real growth happened. They did not let failure stop them, they let it drive them. This mindset transforms failure from a dead end into a stepping stone. The power lies in what you do after failing. Do you quit and believe you can't? Or do you learn, adjust, and move forward stronger than before? Another part of learning from failure is sharing your experience with others. Talking about your setbacks openly breaks down shame and isolation. It reminds you and others that failure is part of the human experience. This connection can build mental strength because you realize you are not alone in facing challenges. Learning from others' failures also expands your understanding and prepares you for your own obstacles. Mental strength requires patience with yourself as you fail and learn. Growth doesn't happen overnight, and failure will come multiple times. Each failure shapes you, sharpens you, and prepares you for the next step. When you stop fearing failure, you start to welcome it as part of your journey. This doesn't mean enjoying failure, but accepting it as necessary. This acceptance brings peace and courage, which are powerful tools for success. Failing repeatedly can be exhausting, but it teaches endurance. The mental toughness to keep going, even when progress is slow or uncertain, comes from learning that failure is temporary and that success is possible if you persist. This endurance is what keeps you moving forward when others give up. It is the foundation of mental strength that leads to achieving what you set your mind to. Finally, learning from failure involves changing your language about it. Stop calling it failure and start calling it feedback or a lesson. This simple change shifts your mindset from defeat to growth. It helps you see that every experience, whether positive or negative, moves you forward in some way. When your mind believes that failure is a natural part of learning, your fear fades and your strength grows. Failure is not your enemy, it is your guide. It points the way to improvement and deeper understanding. Mental strength grows when you stop fearing failure and start learning from it. This shift gives you the courage to take risks, face challenges, and keep going no matter what happens. When failure becomes a teacher, nothing can stop you from achieving what you set your mind to. Number 8. Stay focused on what you can control only. Life often throws us into situations that feel overwhelming because there's so much we cannot change. The traffic jam makes you late. Someone else's opinion hurts your confidence. The economy shifts and impacts your job. These things happen outside your control, and wasting energy trying to change them only drains your mental strength. Most people fall into the trap of focusing on what they cannot control, and that leads to frustration, stress, and feeling powerless. Mental strength starts when you understand this simple truth. Your power lies in focusing on what you can control, not what you cannot. It's easy to get caught up in things beyond your reach because emotions pull you into them. Anger, anxiety, and fear often come from worrying about outcomes that aren't in your hands. When this happens, you lose clarity and make decisions from a place of helplessness. The first step to building mental strength is to recognize these moments and intentionally shift your attention. Ask yourself, what part of this situation can I actually influence or change? This question alone helps pull you back to your power center. Your thoughts, actions, and responses are always within your control. You decide how you interpret a situation, how hard you work toward your goals, and how you treat others. These choices shape your reality far more than external events. When you put your energy into these controllable areas, you build confidence because you see progress. Progress builds motivation, and motivation feeds mental strength. Focusing on what you control creates a cycle of positive momentum that no external obstacle can break. Many people get stuck worrying about other people's actions or trying to force outcomes that aren't theirs to command. This is a losing battle. You cannot control others' feelings, decisions, or behaviors, but you can control your reaction to them. This distinction is crucial. Mental strength means mastering your inner world even when the outside world is chaotic or unfair. When you focus on your responses, you stop giving others power over your mood and your life. When faced with a challenge, break it down into parts that you can influence. For example, if you are worried about a job interview, you cannot control the employer's decision, but you can control how well you prepare. You can control your attitude, your punctuality, your effort, and your presentation. Shifting your focus to these actions reduces anxiety and increases your chance of success. This mindset trains your brain to look for solutions rather than problems. It's normal to feel powerless sometimes, but mental strength means refusing to stay there. Even in the toughest situations, there is something you can control, even if it's just your attitude or your breathing. Choosing to focus there keeps your mind sharp and your emotions steady. This calm clarity helps you respond wisely instead of reacting emotionally. Over time, this habit rewires your brain to seek control over your inner world, which is the foundation of true mental resilience. When you focus on what's out of your control, you give your power away. You become a victim of circumstance instead of the creator of your life. Mental strength is about taking full responsibility for your part, no matter how small, and letting go of the rest. This doesn't mean ignoring reality or pretending problems don't exist. It means investing your energy where it counts and accepting what cannot be changed without resistance or complaint. Stress often comes from resisting what is outside your control. When you accept that some things just are, without judging or fighting them, your mind relaxes. This doesn't mean resignation, it means clarity. You can then use your energy to find ways around the obstacle or to focus on what's possible despite it. This acceptance is a sign of maturity and mental strength. It shows you are not wasting energy on what doesn't serve your progress. Sometimes the difference between giving up and pushing through is a simple shift in focus. When the path ahead looks blocked, focusing on what you can control opens small doors. Each small door leads to another, and step by step, you move forward. Mental strength grows in these moments because you learn to trust your ability to handle whatever comes, rather than waiting for the perfect conditions that may never arrive. Surrounding yourself with people who practice this mindset can also help you stay focused on what you control. When you hear others complaining or blaming outside forces, it can pull you into the same trap. But when you engage with those who take responsibility and act despite challenges, it inspires you to do the same. Mental strength thrives in an environment of accountability and empowerment. Choose your company wisely to reinforce your focus on control. Your emotions also respond to where your focus goes. Anxiety and frustration increase when your mind dwells on uncontrollable worries. Peace and confidence grow when you concentrate on your actions and choices. Training yourself to notice where your attention lands is key. This awareness gives you the ability to redirect your thoughts before they spiral out of control. It's a simple but powerful habit that builds over time. Developing this focus requires patience because the mind naturally drifts to the unknown and uncontrollable. You may find yourself repeatedly slipping back into old habits of worry or blame. That's normal. The important part is to gently bring your mind back to your circle of control without harsh judgment. Each time you do, you strengthen the mental muscle of focus. This muscle is essential for maintaining clarity and calm in a world full of distractions and uncertainties. Mental strength also comes from understanding the difference between influence and control. Influence is the area where your actions can sway outcomes or opinions but do not guarantee results. Control is where you have full command. Focusing on control keeps you grounded. Paying attention to influence helps you take thoughtful action, but obsessing over influence leads to frustration. Learning to balance these helps you stay steady regardless of external chaos. Your health, habits, time management, learning, and mindset are all within your control. Investing in these areas consistently builds a strong foundation. When your foundation is solid, outside events shake you less. You handle problems with greater ease and bounce back faster. This resilience is the heart of mental strength, the ability to remain steady, calm, and effective no matter what is happening around you. Practicing focus on control every day changes your life quietly but powerfully. It reduces unnecessary stress and increases your effectiveness. It helps you make better decisions because your mind is clear, not overwhelmed. You become less reactive and more proactive. This shift influences every area of your life, work, relationships, health, and personal growth. To strengthen this skill, begin by listing what you can control in any challenging situation you face. Write down your actions, thoughts, and attitudes that are within your power. Then identify what is outside your control and practice letting go of worry about those things. Revisit this list regularly to remind yourself where your true power lies. This simple exercise sharpens your focus and trains your mind to stay centered. Mental strength is not about controlling the world, it's about mastering your own world. When you focus on what you can control only, you reclaim your power. You stop being a victim of circumstances and become the leader of your life. This shift changes how you feel, how you act, and ultimately what you achieve. Number 9. Surround yourself with mentally strong people daily. It's hard to admit, but the people you spend most of your time with have more influence over your mental strength than you realize. Everyone faces moments of doubt, fear, or discouragement, but what separates those who rise above from those who fall behind is often the company they keep. When your daily circle is filled with mentally strong individuals, you absorb their attitudes, habits, and resilience almost unconsciously. On the other hand, when you're surrounded by negativity, excuses, and weak mindset patterns, it's easy to fall into the same trap. This is not about judgment, but about understanding a simple fact. Your environment shapes your mindset. Most people underestimate how much energy and mental space the people around them take up. When you consistently listen to complaints, witness giving up at the first hurdle, or hear endless doubts, your mind becomes cluttered with these limiting voices. It's like carrying invisible weights that drain your motivation and courage. Mentally strong people, however, bring a different energy. They inspire you to push harder, think clearer, and believe in possibilities even when it feels tough. They don't ignore challenges, but they approach them with a mindset that focuses on solutions and growth. Building mental strength is not something you can do alone if your environment works against you. It requires intentional choices about who you spend time with. This means sometimes making hard decisions, distancing yourself from people who consistently drain your mental energy, even if they are close to you. This isn't about abandoning loved ones, but about protecting your mental space to grow. You deserve to be around those who lift you up, challenge you to be better, and celebrate your wins without jealousy or negativity. The daily influence of strong-minded people works in subtle ways. Their calmness in difficult times, their refusal to give up, and their positive outlook become role models. When you see someone handle pressure without panic, it teaches you how to do the same. When they set goals and follow through, it motivates you to commit to your own plans. Over time, this influence rewires your brain to think in terms of strength, persistence, and hope instead of defeat, fear, and doubt. It's important to seek out people who not only have mental strength, but are also genuine and supportive. Some may appear strong on the outside, but use negativity or criticism as their method of connection. True mentally strong people encourage growth, are honest about their struggles, and share wisdom without judgment. They push you to be accountable while offering empathy when you stumble. This balance of challenge and support is essential to build your own resilience. If you find yourself lacking such people in your immediate circle, there are ways to expand your network. Joining groups, attending seminars, reading biographies of resilient individuals, or even following thought leaders who speak honestly about mental strength can fill that gap. Surrounding yourself with ideas and stories of mental toughness creates a virtual environment that influences your mindset daily. The key is to consistently expose your mind to strength, wisdom, and possibility. Mentally strong people don't just talk about success, they demonstrate it through actions. Their habits, routines, and choices all reflect their mindset. Being around them lets you observe these behaviors up close. You start noticing how they manage stress, handle setbacks, and keep moving forward no matter what. This observation is powerful because it provides practical examples, not just advice. Watching strength in action makes it easier to imitate and eventually internalize. It's natural to feel vulnerable when changing your circle of influence. Old relationships come with history and comfort, even if they don't serve your growth. But mental strength demands courage to make these changes. This courage isn't loud or flashy. It's the quiet decision every day to seek better company, set boundaries, and invest your time wisely. This ongoing choice separates those who become mentally strong from those who remain stuck. Spending time with mentally strong people also teaches patience. These individuals understand that growth is not instant. They don't expect perfection but steady progress. Their calm perseverance in the face of challenges reminds you that setbacks are part of the journey, not the end. This perspective reduces pressure and increases your mental endurance. You learn to stay steady, knowing that strength builds over time with consistent effort and support. It's common to think that mental strength means handling everything alone, but the truth is the opposite. True mental toughness includes knowing when to seek support, advice, or encouragement from others. Surrounding yourself with the right people creates a safety net. It gives you a place to share fears without shame and receive honest feedback that helps you grow. This network acts as a shield and a sword, protecting your mindset and empowering your progress. Sometimes the challenge is not only finding strong people, but also being strong for others. As you grow, you become a source of strength in your circle. This responsibility keeps you accountable to maintain your own mental toughness. When you know others look up to you, it pushes you to stay disciplined, optimistic, and consistent. This mutual encouragement creates a powerful environment where everyone's mental strength is amplified. Mental strength is built day by day, conversation by conversation. Each interaction with strong-minded individuals adds bricks to your mental foundation. When you face tough times, the memories of these supportive voices become anchors that keep you grounded. They remind you that you're not alone and that mental strength is a shared journey, not a solitary battle. Pay close attention to the tone and content of your daily conversations. Do they inspire action or promote fear? Do they build confidence or create doubt? This awareness helps you choose your time and energy wisely. It's not about avoiding difficult conversations, but about ensuring that the overall influence lifts you higher, not drags you down. Even in brief encounters, the attitude of others leaves an impression. People who handle pressure with grace, who stay calm under fire, and who focus on solutions rather than problems, offer a lesson with every word and gesture. Engage with these people intentionally, listen carefully, and practice adopting their mindset in your own life. These small but consistent exposures to mental strength become powerful over time. Mental strength also grows when you exchange ideas with like-minded individuals who share your commitment to growth. These conversations spark new perspectives, encourage accountability, and provide inspiration. They push you to think bigger and act bolder. The synergy of shared mental toughness creates energy that propels everyone forward. Being around mentally strong people doesn't mean life will suddenly be easy. Challenges remain. However, the difference is how you handle them. Their presence changes your response from fear or avoidance to courage and problem-solving. It builds a mindset where obstacles are seen as stepping stones rather than barriers. This environment also reinforces the importance of responsibility. Mentally strong people take ownership of their lives, and this influences you to do the same. You learn to stop blaming circumstances or others and instead focus on what you can do. This shift in mindset is the cornerstone of all success and happiness. Your mental environment is as important as your physical environment. Number 10. Practice patience and persistence no matter what happens. Many people expect success to come quickly, and when it doesn't, they feel defeated or ready to quit. The truth is, patience and persistence are two of the most important qualities to develop if you want to become mentally strong and achieve anything you set your mind to. Life often feels like it's testing you with delays, obstacles, and moments when progress is invisible. This can be frustrating and exhausting. Most people don't talk about how tough it really is to keep pushing forward when results aren't immediate. It's easy to lose heart when the outcome you desire seems distant, and the effort you put in feels unrewarded. But this is exactly when mental strength shows its true power. Patience is not about waiting passively or hoping things will magically get better. It's an active state of mind. It means you accept that good things take time, and you commit to keep working, learning, and improving every day, even when the payoff is not yet visible. Persistence is the daily decision to keep going, regardless of how hard it gets or how many times you stumble. When patience and persistence come together, they form an unstoppable force. This force drives you forward in the face of uncertainty, fear, and disappointment. Without these two, many people give up at the moment just before a breakthrough. One of the hardest realities about mental strength is understanding that life isn't fair. Sometimes you work harder than others and see slower results. Sometimes your efforts feel ignored or overlooked. Patience helps you handle this unfairness without bitterness. It teaches you to focus on your own progress, not on comparing yourself to others. This focus on your own journey reduces stress and increases your ability to keep moving forward calmly and steadily. Persistence is what turns failure into success. When you persist, every setback becomes a lesson instead of a defeat. Each failure is an opportunity to adjust your approach and try again with more knowledge. Many people fear failure so much that they avoid taking risks altogether. But persistence means embracing failure as a natural part of growth. It means understanding that success isn't about never failing, it's about refusing to quit. The greatest achievements in history are filled with stories of people who kept going despite repeated failures and discouragement. Practicing patience requires developing emotional control. When impatience creeps in, it's easy to make rash decisions or lose motivation. Being mentally strong means training yourself to pause, breathe, and remind yourself that progress is happening, even if it's not yet visible. This practice calms the mind and keeps you focused on your long-term goals rather than short-term frustrations. It's about building trust in the process, knowing that consistent effort produces results eventually. Persistence demands resilience, another key part of mental strength. Resilience means bouncing back from challenges with renewed energy and determination. It's not about never feeling tired or disappointed, but about continuing despite those feelings. When persistence becomes a habit, you develop confidence in your ability to handle whatever life throws your way. You build a mental muscle that can withstand pressure and setbacks without breaking. This combination of patience and persistence is essential because the path to any meaningful achievement is rarely smooth. Obstacles will appear, plans will change, and doubts will surface. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is how they respond in these moments. Mentally strong people respond with calm endurance and relentless effort. They accept that discomfort and uncertainty are part of the process, and they keep moving forward. It's also important to remember that practicing patience and persistence doesn't mean you stay stuck doing the same thing over and over without adjustment. It means you keep moving forward, but remain flexible and willing to learn. Sometimes persistence means changing tactics while holding on to your ultimate goal. It means being patient with yourself as you grow and understanding that mastery takes time and repeated effort. A practical way to cultivate patience and persistence is to set small, achievable goals along the way to your bigger goals. These smaller wins build momentum and provide proof that progress is happening. When you see that your effort leads to results, even small ones, it fuels your motivation to persist longer. This process reduces the frustration that comes with waiting for big breakthroughs, making patience easier to maintain. Another important part of practicing patience and persistence is managing your expectations. If you expect immediate success or perfection, you set yourself up for disappointment. Instead, focus on progress, effort, and learning. Celebrate the small steps, the daily discipline, and the moments when you choose to try again. This mindset builds emotional strength and keeps your spirits high even in difficult times. Persistence also creates a sense of control. When you keep working despite challenges, you prove to yourself that you are not a victim of circumstance. You become the active creator of your future. This feeling of control strengthens your confidence and reduces anxiety. Instead of feeling overwhelmed by obstacles, you see them as challenges you can handle because you have persisted through tough times before. Patience and persistence work hand in hand with hope and belief. Without hope, patience fades because it feels like waiting for something that will never come. Without belief in yourself and your goals, persistence loses its power. Maintaining hope and belief requires nurturing your mind with positive thoughts and affirmations, surrounding yourself with support, and reminding yourself why you started. These mental habits feed the patience and persistence that keep you going. It's common to see others achieve success and feel like you're falling behind. This comparison can kill patience and make you want to quit. But every person's journey is unique, and what you see on the surface is often years of unseen effort and persistence. Mentally strong people recognize this and focus on their own path without distraction. They practice patience by trusting their process and persist by staying committed every day. Patience and persistence also build a deeper appreciation for success. When you have worked through challenges patiently and persisted against odds, the reward feels more meaningful. This gratitude reinforces mental strength and encourages you to keep growing. Success that comes quickly often fades fast because it's not deeply earned. Success built on patience and persistence is lasting because it's grounded in real effort and growth. Remember, mental strength is a habit built by daily choices. Every time you choose patience instead of frustration, every time you persist instead of quitting, you add strength to your mind. This strength will serve you not just in one goal, but in every challenge life presents. It becomes a foundation that supports your dreams and allows you to achieve anything you set your mind to. Your mind is like a garden that grows whatever you nurture. Patience is the water that feeds the seeds of effort, and persistence is the care that ensures those seeds become strong trees. Without either, your mental garden will struggle to survive. With both, it will flourish, providing you with strength, confidence, and the ability to overcome whatever life throws your way. In the moments when you feel like giving up, remind yourself that patience and persistence are not signs of weakness. They are the true markers of mental strength. They are the silent power